Welcome back. Welcome to day 24 of my vlogs. So I alluded to this yesterday in my description, but today I'm gonna talk about the one last trait that I feel I need to talk about Chrissy. The difference in this compared to ones I've talked about in the past is this is more of a physical attribute than mental one, really. Like I said when I described that I was gonna come off as something, I'm gonna come off as a little bit of an asshole, I'm not gonna lie. And this is definitely a little bit uncomfortable because I don't want to come off like that, but I mean, that's just how it is. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just how it is when I talk about this. But the one thing I haven't said about Chrissy up to this point is the fact that she shares some of the same, I guess you could say, features that, come to think of it, that Asuna actually had back in high school, and that I have to compare those two to someone in today's terms. If you follow me on Twitter, and actually technically even if you follow me on Facebook and you notice some of the stuff that I'm going through right now, you'll notice that I am a pretty big fan of Christina Grimmie. I've been a fan of hers for a while. I think it's 4 years, because I know it's before I had a Twitter account, because she's the first person I followed on Twitter. And I made my Twitter account in 2011, I think. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about her is I'm gonna kind of compare her to Chrissy and Asuna. Ever since I met Asuna back in high school, and definitely after I met Chrissy in 2009, I started to realize that, as bad as it sounded, that I kind of had a type, in the sense that a lot of the girls that I had developed a crush on from then on, even to this day, kind of broadly fits a couple of categories. Those categories being, one, they all are naturally brunette, something I coined, but very horrible phrase, brunette syndrome. Two, most, if not all, the girls that I have a crush on, I have had a crush on since Asuna, have been of Italian heritage. And the third one, which is not really a physical aspect, but it definitely does tie into the stereotype, is the fact that they were all, or that they're very in touch with their religion. I think that's probably puts it good. All three of those attributes, or all three of those things, fit these three girls to a T. I mean, I'm not a moron. I know that that's not everything about any of them. I know that I could go on for days talking about how the three of them are different, but they all shared these things in common. And I know you can say that is pretty general, pretty, like I said, stereotypical, and that's why I said I might come off as a bit of an asshole in this vlog today. But I mean, it's just how it is. I said it yesterday in the description that this is one of the more uncomfortable vlogs that I'm doing, in the sense that I'm not very open with this. I've never said this to anyone. I never really even said anything about I've never actually ever, anyway, look, it's not a big deal. It's definitely something I've realized in the more recent years, and actually sometimes, honestly, I make fun of the fact that I think this way, sometimes because I know that it's not necessarily true. Like I've said, all three of them definitely, outside of those three things about that they share, are all different. You know, Chrissy being more of a reader, more of an introvert. Asuna being more of a, just a really more of a general high school girl, and I mean, you know, I'm not trying to say that, oh, all three of them look and act all the same. That's not true. Obviously, I know that. Sorry, I'm kind of itchy on my nose. I know that they all are different people. They all do different things. Just because they share the same aspects doesn't change any, or doesn't really do anything. But the reason I wanted to talk about this and how it ties into the story, aside from describing a little bit more of Chrissy, is the fact that I know that recently I've been hinting at a lot of stuff, like hinting at the end game, and again, I'm going to say that basically I knew this back in when I met Chrissy, that just after after meeting Asuna and after meeting Chrissy, that they definitely shared these things in common. And you know, I said it when I did the future vlog a couple of days ago, that you know, I was worried that what happened between me and Asuna would happen between me and Chrissy, and that comparison kept on, and it definitely did help speed up the fact, or the end game, really. Me constantly comparing Asuna and Chrissy, and obviously, you know, if you ask me in hindsight, it's something I probably shouldn't have shared, but you know, the one thing Chrissy always asked me to be was honest. And after she got back from Christmas, I just, you know, I really just told her that. And I said this, I think, the other day too, and I was just like, you know, I told her about the whole, you know, worried about our relationship ending like how me and Asuna ended, but I never told her that I realized these things about them in common, and that, well, obviously I couldn't tell her about Christina Grimmy because that's in the future, but that's it's definitely something that I'm not proud of, that I don't like the fact that I do this, that I did compare Asuna and Chrissy, because it's not fair. You know, I knew that, you know, what would I feel like if I were in her shoes, or if she were in my shoes, I should say, if she were comparing me to an ex-boy, well, me and Asuna never dated, but you know, if she compared me to someone she used to know, and you know, I was just like, you know, I just didn't. Honestly, by then, by the time she got back from Christmas, I think I started to change, especially after she left. It wasn't that I didn't care anymore. It was the sense that, you know, the fact that she had left for the holidays without letting me know until right before really just got to me, to the sense that when she got back, I just really didn't. I'm trying to figure out how to put this. I just let it all out, really. I just didn't really care for hiding anything, for trying to think. Basically, I just said what I wanted to before even thinking about it, because I was just like, you know what? If she didn't think enough to tell me that she was going back to Georgia for the holidays until like a couple of days before, then why am I so worried about anything? So, you know, once I told her that, once I admitted that I really did kind of compare like Chrissy and Asuna frequently, I think that really just dragged a really big wedge between us. The splinter may have been when she left for Georgia, but that splinter turned into a pretty big crevice by the time she got back. And you know, you'll see in the next couple of vlogs that it was really just irreparable. It was definitely the beginning of the end, and it wasn't the last straw, which I will get to definitely by Tuesday, I promise, because we are getting close to the end. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, I know that you're definitely starting to see a different side of me that I probably haven't said before, that maybe you've never even knew about me before. But you know, like I said, this is not a happy ending. Things are going to be said. Things are going to happen. And yeah, if you like this video, definitely give it a like. Share it with anyone you may think might like it if you want. And until next time, see ya.